Welcome to the Microsoft Fabric Online Global Conference. My name is Brian, and I'm going to talk about the real-time hub for the next 45-50 minutes, more or less. How many questions you have, then we will keep it running afterwards. A short thing about me. My name is Brian. I'm from Denmark. I won't even ask you to pronounce my last names, but I'll give you one hint. It is Bønk. It's Danish, and I'm as Dane as it gets. I'm a data geek riding a motorcycle. I have a LinkedIn page. You are welcome to hook up with me if you want. You will also see this image as the last slide, where there will be a QR code. If you scan that, then you will be linked directly to my LinkedIn account. I have a blog on decode.bi. If you want to read my thoughts, read my blogs, there you'll find it. It is mostly on real-time intelligence from Microsoft. There's also a newsletter you can sign up to get email alerts on new posts there. I promise I won't spam you with commercials and all that stuff, only new blog posts. After this session, the slides are available on GitHub, so you don't have to do screenshots all over the place. All the slides will be available on GitHub afterwards. I'm a Microsoft MVP on the data platform. I'm a Microsoft Fast Track Recognized Solution Architect, one of the few left in the world. And I'm also a Microsoft Certified Trainer. Enough about me, let's get started. As David just put in the chat, use the Q&A functionality for questions. And you can help each other by perhaps answer the questions, or else I will answer those questions as good as I can in the Q&A. If I don't see the Q&A, then please write something in the chat, then I will at least see it. So I'll juggle 2 or 3 screens here, so hang tight. First of all, I will talk about what is streaming data in Fabric, how to handle it, and perhaps also what is streaming data afterwards. Then a short introduction to what is the real-time hub. Why has Microsoft implemented yet a new thing in Fabric, and what do we need it for? A demonstration, hopefully that will fly. I will walk you through the entire real-time hub and show you what you can do with it. After that, a short thing on perspectives, and that is it for today. If you have any questions, please. If you don't want to write them in the chat while I'm presenting, just you can also just keep them and then ask them afterwards. So let's talk about streaming data in Fabric. First of all, the world around us is not only Fabric, it is not only Microsoft. It is a lot of vendors that are trying to lure you in and use their service. This is some of the icons, perhaps you know them. We have a SQL Server, we have IoT hubs, we have event hubs, we have from Amazon, we have things from Oracle and Google and all that stuff. All these things are data that could be a streaming source. And streaming sources are data that continuously gives us information. It could be an IoT device streaming the temperature in the room. It could be a windmill streaming the whereabouts of all the components inside that windmill, or other stuff. It could also be a modern car. A modern car today generates around 5 gigabytes of data for every 1 kilometer that you drive in it. All of that data needs to be stored somewhere. This is where Microsoft embraces the entire thing. All of these data sources can be ingested inside Microsoft Fabric using the real-time intelligence services and the real-time hub. I'll get back to the real-time hub in a minute. We need to process all of this data. We need to analyze it. We need to monitor it, and we need to act on it. All of these 4 main processes are now a part of Fabric called the Real-Time Intelligence Suite, where we can process all the data in the event house. We can analyze it. We can process it in the event streams. We can analyze it using the event house. We can monitor it using the real-time dashboards, and we can act on it using the reflex items, the artist formerly known as Data Activator. After built this March, we got data activator is no longer a single product. It is now ingested fully into the real-time intelligence suite inside Fabric. So we have on the left side, we have all the sources, and on the right side, we have all the things that we want to do. And in the middle, that is where Real-Time Hub comes into play. Real-Time Hub is the one-click, one-place hub for everything around streaming data inside Fabric. It will help you get started. It will help you monitor it. It will help you act and react on it. And it will also help you do reporting on top of all your data. And of course, no service in Fabric without some sort of AI. So you also get Copilot help, and you can use Copilot in some of the places inside real-time intelligence. Not yet Copilot directly in the real-time hub, but hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully we will also get Copilot inside real-time hub shortly. The real-time hub consists of 3 elements. I'll get back to that in the demo, but I will also dive into it right now. It has data streams where we can handle all the streams. It has Microsoft sources, and it has Fabric events. The data streams are, come on, there you go. The data streams are where you handle all your ingestion, all your transformations, and all your streams coming into Fabric. You can handle all of this in an event stream, or you can handle it as outside sources from Fabric. It could be a Kafka, it could be Amazon streaming, it could be Databricks streaming, some sort of streaming source that you want to ingest inside Fabric. This is where you start with your data streams. Next up is the Microsoft sources. All of the sources that you have access to, and only the sources you have access to, not the sources that your coworker or your companion has access to, but the sources you have access to can be ingested or handled or maintained directly from the real-time hub. Could be a Cosmos DB, could be a SQL Server, Event House, Event Hub, IoT Hub, whatever sources you have from Microsoft that can be ingested directly. The Fabric events, 2 types of events. We can now react to Fabric Workspace item events and also Azure Blob Storage events. I'll get back to that in the demo also. And this is not the complete picture yet, because more is in the build. Microsoft has released on the other public available sessions that more things, more elements will be added to the real-time hub as time flies by. If we start in the event streams area, I'll also show you this in the demo. Then we have a quick overview of all the streams, all the types, and we can begin to filter the items directly on what we need. The Microsoft sources, there you go, is the things outside of Fabric that you have access to in Azure, where you can begin to ingest data from. This is the list that is, it is only showing streaming enabled or streaming what's that? Streaming sources that can be enabled. It might not be enabled yet, but it is still listed here. Even though the source is not streaming data, it is still listed here because it has a possibility to stream data. The real-time hub is not yet as aware of if, for this instance, in an Azure SQL, that the Azure SQL is streaming enabled. It just lists that if there is a SQL server and that SQL server has streaming capabilities, so therefore you can ingest it if you have enabled the things. That is a good thing to know there. The last things are the Fabric events. We have 2 things, Azure Blob Storage events and Fabric Workspace item events. I'll get more into details now. So let me jump into Fabric. This is my Fabric, nothing new there, other than I made it brown and added my logo from my blog. And on the left side, oops, for some reason I have not started Zoom-it, but I will do that in just a second. Come on. Okay, so let's try again. There you go. On the right side of your screen, you have the main menu. I call that a main menu, with the home, create, browse, the OneLake Hub, apps, metrics, monitor, learn, all that stuff. And right there, oops, sorry, come on, click. Right there, you have the real-time hub. If you can't see it, it might be that your screen resolution is too small to actually display this item. You will find the item in the 3-dot extra flow over right there, and then you will have the real-time hub somewhere here. If I jump into my real-time hub, I will be guided directly to the real-time hub of data streams. The data streams, let me zoom a bit here so you can see it. There you go. The data streams consist of all the existing streams in my real-time, in my Fabric environment that I have access to. So this is also access aware. So if there are workspaces or items in those workspaces you don't have access to, you can't see them here. So this is only showing or displaying the things that you can actually work with. In this situation, I have access to an event stream called bicycle demo data, where I stream data from the demo data set from bicycles. And I have also access to a KQL database called Brian's KQL database, which has two tables, bicycle demo and bicycle data silver. These are the things that I can see. Further on, I can now begin to filter on the event types, on the owner, that's only me, on the item, if I need to find a specific item, or the location. The location in this area is actually the workspaces. So there is a bit of naming confusion here. The location is actually a workspace. So if I only need to find things in my admin monitoring, I can just click the workspaces here. All of this is in my Decode BI demo workspace, so no things there to filter. If I want to edit or do stuff with my item that I can see here, I can actually just click it. Then first of all, I'm guided directly to the information around this item. Let me guide you through it. First of all, in the top here, you will see that it is a stream, a data stream. I'm the owner, and it is just a stream in the type. On the middle part here, I can begin to set an alert directly based out of this stream. So this is now leveraging the possibilities to to create a reflex item, the things that we got from Data Activator, where I can begin to set alerts directly based out of my streams. On the right-hand side, come on, it won't help me there. I'll just do it again. No, it won't help me, sorry. On the right-hand side, stop it. There you go. On the right-hand side, you will see if this event stream was actually handling data, I would see the inputs and the outputs going forward here, and I can begin to filter over the period of time. I can also see the things that are happening inside my event stream. So this is the actual event stream, and in that event stream, I have a connector to a sample data set called bicycle demo. And I also have a connection to a KQL database called Brian's KQL database. In the relation, I can see that it is the parent. So the parent is the event stream. The upstream, the things coming into the event streams, are the bicycle demo. And the downstream, the sink or the destination, is my KQL database. And directly from here, I can actually open the event stream. Hopefully this will fly. Oh, sorry, there are questions. Is this released to public in preview, or you have early access? Oh, this is actually public preview. I don't have any early access on this, so everyone can begin to play with this. And actually, further on to this question, I think your name is Summit. Sorry if I don't pronounce it correctly. Everyone has access, but it is right now in preview. So the things might change before it is actually published. And is a question from Ladania. Is Stream Profile a real-time widget? Can you put one more or two more words on that, Ladania, please? Then I will happily answer your question. What do you mean by a widget? While Ladania is writing, then I will continue with the event streams. So here I can begin to edit my event stream. This is the things that I have built before this demo. It is just taking data from the bicycle demo dataset. This is not an event stream session, so I won't dive deeply into this. And it handles the bicycle demo data, and then it just stores it in the demo dataset in my KQL database. But I would like to show you something. If I edit this and then I add a destination, perhaps a stream, and then I add this one. Come on. There you go. Nope. It won't. It won't. I'll do it again. I will transform it, and I will add a filter. Filter there, and I will edit it, and then I will select a filter on street could be equal to something. I know that this is not real, but I'll just do it. Oh, the one that you showed earlier to see if the event stream is flowing the data. It was on previous page. Oh, okay. The question from Ladania is that the real-time widget. I'll get back to that in a minute, but it is only to be found inside the real-time hub right now, where you can see the input and the output messages going in and out from this specific item. You can't use it other places right now. I'm hoping that we get APIs in Fabric to actually begin to listen to what is happening inside my real-time universe, so I can begin to build this perhaps in a real-time dashboards outside of real-time hub. So it is only to be found inside the real-time hub on the actual item. Oh, a long question there from Nadim. Matching schema with the landing table in a warehouse seems to be a challenge. The schema suggestion in the event transformations are different than if we do not transform and load directly into a table. Any best suggestions any best practices you suggest? Oh, yeah. Okay. I would, if I were you. This is not an event stream, but I'll answer this quite quickly. If I were you, I would I would save the data in a KQL database and then enable that KQL database to a one-leg copy. I'll show you that in a second if I remember it. Just let me finish this, and then I'll go back to my event house, and then I'll show you how to make the one-leg copy, and then you have it outside in one leg with a shortcut within a few seconds. I'll show you that. But back to this, I'm just filtering the this one, and then I'll transform. What error? Come on. And the destination is a stream. Put that one there. Setup required. Enter stream name. Something filtered data. And it cannot have spaces. So I will just do that one. There you go. Save. Now it works. Now I just added an arbitrary filter to my set, and I haven't saved this data anywhere. I'm just creating another stream. So I'm publishing it. And it has been published, and I'm now watching this live. If I now go back to my real-time hub and refresh, come on. There you go. Now you will see I have another stream called something filter data, the one I just created. So I don't have to create another event stream just to get a filtered data set. I can actually piggyback on an existing event stream and then just filter whatever data I need, and then I have another stream I can connect to. And it instantly shows up inside the real-time hub. The quick answer to Nadim's question is, how do I get data easily to a lakehouse? I would go into my KQL database quickly, and then make sure on your KQL database level, enable the one-leg availability. Click this button. Come on. Enable it. Hit done. Now I've enabled the one-leg ability on a database level. And then whatever table that you have, you also need to enable the one-leg ability on that table. Now I've enabled the one-leg availability on the bicycle demo table. And within a few seconds, all the new data coming into this table will be available in the one lake within a few milliseconds. And from there, you can just create a shortcut, and then you have it in a lakehouse within, seconds. I hope that was enough for you. Nadim, there is another question. Is it possible to create more complex event stream manipulating with aggregations or even actual write Flink code? Is it maybe on the roadmap? Ooh, good question. In the event streams, yes, you can do other manipulations. You can do aggregations, filtering, you can do whatever you need. And I've also heard on other public streams that Microsoft is actually working on adding the availability to add actual code inside the event stream, so you can begin to do your custom things. I don't know if that will be Flink, but hopefully something else. Code will be there. I don't know what it will be, but I've heard Microsoft talk about this on other public events, saying that a custom component, custom filter, custom transformation is coming with code availability. So that will be great. Back to my real-time hub. The next things are the real-time are the Microsoft sources. Right now, I can only see two things. That is an Azure SQL, and from the Azure SQL, I can directly begin to ingest data. If this is enabled for streaming, that is to enable a SQL server for streaming, you need to go in and enable the change data capture on that database and on those tables that you need. When that is enabled, data will be available in the event stream that you're creating with ingesting this data. So if I click the arrow, then I am guided to actually create an event stream. This is nothing magical. It is just a UI guide directly in Fabric creating an event stream. So I need to create a new connection to this database. Come on, load, please. With the server and connection string, the database, and all that stuff. I won't do this because then I'll begin to stream data. And then I can select the tables, all the tables, or just the table names, and the table names are just with a schema and the table name, comma, next table, schema, table name, so forth. And for some reason, I can't get over here in the Zoom bit. I'm sorry for that. But to the right, you can change the event stream name, give it something that makes sense, other than just decode event stream. That doesn't make sense, and select the workspace where you want to save this. By default, it saves in the workspace where you are, but you might want to save it other places. And then when you hit next, you get a preview and you can create it, and then you're good to go. You will now have created an event stream that listens to the change data capture feed from that specific database, either all the tables or some of the tables. Easy peasy. Close. Yes, cancel. Again, I can filter on source. I can filter on subscription. If I have more than one subscription, I can filter on the things here. Here you will see a lot of MVP stuff. I can filter on resource groups, and I can also filter on whatever region my database is being stored. It doesn't have to be a SQL server. It can be other streaming enabled services in Azure. Last but not least, the things that we have all been waiting for. When we got Azure Data Factory and Synapse pipelines, we also got the ability to start a pipeline based on a file being dropped in a blob storage. With Fabric, it wasn't there at the first release. But now we have that with steroids, with even more. With the Fabric events, we are now given back the capability to start a pipeline or another process, a notebook, based on something happening inside an Azure Blob Storage, or actually also inside your Fabric workspaces. Let me start in the Azure Blob Storage. To the right, you will see all the blob storage events that I can now listen to and act on. It could be a blob created, blob deleted, renamed, the tier change, so the storage tier, either archive, live, gold, hot, and so forth, and so forth. A directory created, renamed, also deleted. A async operation initiated, so someone started something asynchronously inside the storage account. It could also be the inventory policy was completed, and the lifecycle policy was completed. So if you have a lifecycle policy of whenever a file has been in the storage account for more than 3 weeks, put it in cold, and then after 3 weeks, put it in archive. That you can configure, and when that has happened, then you can listen to, okay, this has happened. So now we can actually start our processes, our pipelines, our notebooks, whatever things you need based out of events in the blob storage. From whatever event you are listening to, you get a complete set of data sets. You get the source, the subject, time, type, and so forth and so forth. And you also get who has done it, what is the blob type, and also the time and the URL and so forth and so forth. So all of this data you can now grab and you can react to it. You can send it forward. You can begin to build a governance thing around all your Azure blob storages. What is happening? Do I need to do stuff? And so forth and so forth. And just like Apple would say it, but there's more. We also got the availability to do Fabric Workspace item events. So besides all the other blob storage events, we can also do Microsoft Fabric item events. Whatever is happening inside your workspace, you can now listen to. So if an item is created and it was succeeded, or if it failed, or if it was updated, or that update was failed, or if it was deleted, so forth and so forth and so forth. Actually, also if people are trying to read something and that fails, you can also listen to that and react on it. And a reaction is just start something, save it, log it, do something with it. With this, you can now begin to build a governance solution directly on Fabric to have the IT department or whoever is responsible for your Fabric environment begin to build a deeper insight to what is happening in my workspaces. Is there something always going wrong? Do we need to do stuff? Do we need to change the adoption roadmap? All that stuff can now be developed inside Fabric out of the box with these events. It is actually quite easy to set up an alert. It's just hit the green button, set alert. Then you select the events. By default, all events are selected, but there is a clear all button here and select all. So perhaps I need a item create succeeded. When that has done, I need it by workspace. What workspace would you want to listen to? I'll just do the demo workspace, and then I can do filtering. So this is the filter based on all the fields that I just showed you. I can now begin to filter. So perhaps I only need it where time contains, I don't know, if it is 11 p.m. something. If things are happening at 11 p.m., I don't know why, but if things are happening there, I would love to do something else. But I'll delete that one and delete. Come on. Don't delete it. I'll just cancel it and then do it again. There you go. Select events. Clear all by this workspace and hit next. And save. Now I have selected all when an item is created on each event. Do I want to send a mail? Or do I want to send me a message in Teams? Or run a Fabric item? So a Fabric item could be, perhaps I have an item in my workspace that is a pipeline or a notebook. Those are the two options right now. So if you have a pipeline that you want to execute when things are happening in Fabric, or a blob is stored in your blob storage, or something else is happening, all those items that you just saw, then you can execute a pipeline or a notebook based out of that event. And if it is a notebook and that notebook accepts parameters, you need to do stuff with those parameters also. If those parameters are the workspace name or the item name or something, you can also map them there. Then you select a safe location that is a workspace and create a new reflex item. The icon here is just the reflex item, and then you select the name, and then you're good to go. Do I have anything here that I can show you? No, it is empty, but that's fine. Trust me, it's either a notebook or a pipeline. More questions? No, I don't see any questions, and I don't see any in the Q&A. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. If you have any questions, please don't hold back. Please let them come, and I will gladly answer them for you. So let's go back to Real-Time Hub. That was the Azure Blob Storage events. We can now do stuff with more than we could in Azure Data Factory and in Synapse Pipelines. We can also react to workspace items. So more or less, the Real-Time Hub is collecting all the things around real-time that you want to process your data, govern it, react to it, start processes based on it in one place. A question from Iliad: is Real-Time Hub intended to replace Azure Streaming Analytics? No. Oh, good question. Azure Streaming Analytics is actually a sub-part of event streams. Whatever you're doing in event streams on the transformation part, filter, aggregate, whatever, is actually not being rewritten, but is being maintained by Streaming Analytics in Azure. So everything, that is not a secret, everything you see in Fabric today is built out of a standard Azure service with UI, and perhaps more services are clocked into one service. But event streams are Event Hub, Event Grid, Azure Streaming Analytics, and perhaps more added into one service called event streams, and then whatever you're doing in event streams are manipulating the underlying standard Azure services. So Azure Streaming Analytics is a part of event streams right now. It is not going to be replaced. It is just an easier UI with a mouse to handle your Azure Streaming Analytics. Good question, Iliad. Sure. Keep the questions coming. Back to my slides, the demonstration, it went somewhat okay, I hope. Oh, another question from Nadim. If I can perform real-time analytics in a lakehouse with direct lake query mode, why should I use real-time intelligence over the lakehouse solution? Ooh, good question. Okay. People are leaving. I have more to show you. Just please hold on. The question from Nadim: why should I use real-time? Well, real-time intelligence in Fabric are focused on one thing and one thing only. That is time series-based data. Time series-based data is a very special type of data that the data is always coming in live. It is streaming all the time. If you do that in a lakehouse, you'll get a huge amount of Parquet files, and you won't be happy with that performance. Yes, you can do real-time analytics with direct lake, but that is the direct lake connectivity is relying on the Parquet file format, and the Parquet file format is only optimal when it is out of in a certain size, and the data sets are in certain sizes also. The real-time intelligence is hugely effective. I have done Power BI reporting directly out of Event House in real-time intelligence on billions and billions of rows with sub-second query times. You can't do that in Lakehouse. I would at any time stand up against a person telling me that they can do the same thing in a lakehouse with direct lake as I can do in real-time intelligence. Real-time intelligence is so powerful, and yes, it is not cheap. It costs whenever the service is running and whenever the database is ingesting data or delivering data to you, it costs on your capacity units. Of course, it does. It is not cheap, but it is still more powerful than the lakehouse. Okay, Parquet overload. Exactly, Nadim. Ambar, Azure Stream Analytics had some built-in anomaly detection called Azure ML model. That's supposed. Oh, yes and no. Anomaly detection is not supported directly in event streams, but you can do it in the Custo language directly. The KQL language, the custom query language, the KQL is highly capable of doing outlier detections and anomaly detections all over the place, and out of the box. And you don't need Azure Machine Learning to do that. It is just a matter of using the correct function in your KQL, and then you get markers on all the outliers, and then you can react on it. So that is built into real-time right now. Can anyone explain the architecture of real-time hub data flow? How the data is queued and processed in batch? How many months of data can be queued? Oh, I think that is a bit out of scope, but I can tell you that real-time hub is not doing anything other than presenting what you already have. That was actually my next point, is real-time hub is free of charge. Real-time hub, when you click, when you look at it, when you browse it, when you do stuff, is free of charge. But all the underlying service that you are manipulating does have a cost. So if you're creating an event stream, that costs you something. If you are creating a reflex item, that also costs you something. If you are creating a real-time dashboard, that also costs you something. But the real-time hub as a standalone service is free of charge. You don't pay for that. You only pay for the underlying service doing stuff for you. And how many months of data can be queued? I can tell you that the event stream right now can handle messages of up to 20 megabytes. That is a huge amount of message. One message, look at a message as one row of data in the SQL Server. That is one message. One message can also be one JSON document, a JSON file. A JSON file in 20 megabytes always streaming in every millisecond of 20 megabytes. That's a lot of data. And 20 megabytes is the upper limit in event streams right now to be handled in one message. So I think you have enough muscles and capabilities inside event streams to handle all the messages that you need to handle. Data flows, pipelines is a completely different story. I hope that was enough for you. Amartya, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I hope that was fine. Well, get back to me. Perspectives and usage. How can we use this? It is not just for fun. It is actually there for something. Perspectives and patterns. I don't know why that is there. Again, sorry. There's a PowerPoint thingy here, but real-time intelligence in Fabric. You can actually use. Is that the wrong item? Sorry, this is a wrong one. There you go. The wrong slide. Perspectives and usage. Event-based data loading. Before we had real-time hub, we needed to schedule our runs in Fabric based out of time. The only trigger we had was time or manual. Or you could do something metadata driven, that you have a pipeline that runs every second and then it checks if it needs to do stuff. But that is quite hacky. But right now we can do event-based data loading. When things are happening inside our blob storage, we can start a process. When things are happening in Fabric, we can start a process, not a blob storage. We can start a process. So events-based data loading, I've done a short blog on that on my blog, Decode BI, where you can read more about it. As I said, governance. With the Fabric workspace item events, we can now build a governance solution on what is happening inside my Fabric environment. Are people doing stuff that they shouldn't? Are we creating lake houses all over the place and they are not used, and so forth and so forth? I'll get back to you, Karthik, on that question. Data discovery. The real-time hub is also built for discovery. As you just saw, when I open the real-time hub, I'm presented with all the things that I can work on. Perhaps things are being presented to me, things has been developed to me, and now I'm presented with all the data. And with a few clicks, I can now begin to manipulate and use my data wherever I need. There was a question from Karthik, real-time hub versus real-time intelligence, which is already available in Fabric. Both are still available in Fabric. The real-time hub is an umbrella around real-time intelligence that that presents to you all the items that you have available and that you can use and access. And real-time intelligence is the underlying service of Event House, reflex items, real-time dashboards, and so forth and so forth. The real-time hub is just a UI overlay on top of all the services. So you can say that the real-time hub could be an entrance to start with real-time intelligence. I hope that was quite fine. We are running out of time, so if you have any questions, I'll happily answer them. If you don't, then thank you for staying around. All of you 50 people, I think I saw the count up to 55 or 56. I really, really love that. What did you mean by data discovery? Does the data in the event stream in a catalog when a schema? Oh, data discovery. As you saw in my demo, all the data that I have access to is presented to me in the event hub. In the real-time hub. Once I open the real-time hub, the first thing I see are the event streams and the available custo data to me. So if I don't know what data I need or where to find it, I can always open the real-time hub if it is real-time data, streaming data, and then I'm presented with the data that I have access to, and then I can begin to do data discovery on, is it this data set, is it this event stream, is it this SQL server that I need data from, so I can begin to work with the data that I already have access to. So I don't need to ask the engineering team to present data to me if I already have it. I hope that was enough. A huge thank you to everyone. Thank you for all your questions. I love it. If you want to connect, you can scan this QR code and then you'll be guided directly to my LinkedIn profile. The slides from today are available on my GitHub, github.com/BrianBønk. You will find it there under the repo called slides, slide decks. Just browse to today's date and then you will find my slides in PDF. I'll happily connect with you on LinkedIn. If you have any questions that you haven't asked today and would rather have a discussion with me, please write me on LinkedIn and I'll happily help you there. I'll also happily help you get started on real-time intelligence. Thank you, everyone. My 45 minutes is up, and I hope you enjoyed it.